All right, folks, welcome to Nino's Corner.tv. I'm joined with Sheila Holm from hisbest.org. Man, avid researcher, author. How many books have you written so far, Sheila? Like 13 or something crazy like that?
21, but 19 while in Georgia.
I've only done one, and I'm proud of that. I've done one, but
hmm
wow, that's a lot of work. Sheila, thank you so much for joining me. We're going to be talking about the big names, the big names that are on this list here, 15 big names that the FBI is expected to raid pretty soon. But Sheila's going to put a spin on this, and she's going to say, nah, there's some different names that are going to come up, all that have to do with Durham, correct?
Well, Durham's behind a lot of the cases surrounding these guys. He's uncovered Russia hoax completely out of thin air. He's uncovered uranium one. He's uncovered. I mean, they're going through the layer by layer by layer. This thing is so deep, so thick, so pervasive. It's unbelievable.
How fast do you think we're going to see justice? I mean, we're already seeing the wheels turning, but they grind slowly, right? That's what they say. But we've seen some big names on here. John Bolton just got raided, and that's the first domino that's falling so far. But I mean, do you think we're going to see an arrest like fairly soon in the next 3 to 6 months?
I think a lot's going to happen this year. It has to because we have to head into the 26th election.
Right,
So
the
we're going to have to
midterms.
start registering people quickly. Hopefully by October, November at the latest. We're going to have to re-register everybody to have a real clean voter registration process.
So, do you think that what I've said is correct? I've stated this many times on my show that the Democratic Party will cease to exist by 2028.
We don't need parties. That's what's been destroying us because they're controlling all of it. It's a uniparty. And that's why Boone Cutler said in a little 40-second release, he said, guys, stop talking about the parties. If you stay in that level of division and you want to side with one side or the other, we'll never get out of the swamp.
Right, and I agree with that. And folks, with that being said, you knew what I was going to do. A recent study found nearly half of patients following the beach body already, folks. Lose weight. We can all lose a little weight. All right, let's get into this. On Friday morning, the FBI reportedly conducted a raid on the residence of John Bolton, a former national security advisor to Donald Trump, who became one of his harshest critics. So the media is spinning this now to say, ooh, ooh, this is Trump's retribution campaign. He's going after everybody for revenge. You even got John Bolton's neighbor doing a viral video talking about Trump's crazy. He's crazy. He's a madman. And that's how they're going to spin this. And we're still, the odds are still stacked against us because my audience, we know what's really going on here. Justice is being served. But the liberals and all the mainstream media is going to play this a completely different way. So with that being said, I'm going to pull up this article first, let everyone see it. And it's hitting the mainstream right now. They're already preparing for more raids. These 15 big names could be next. FBI raids John Bolton's house in Trump's they're calling it the Retribution campaign. Sheila.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. National Security Advisor, this doesn't even compare to what they did to Flynn. Doesn't
Right.
even compare to what they did to Flynn. We're doing everything based on the rule of law. You're going to follow him, follow the rule of law all the way through this.
Follow the rule of law, but this is the boomerang.
Well, we have everything and we caught them all and we have it all. Remember, he said that way, way back.
So here's
So
their number one. Here's number one on their hit list here. Miles Taylor, former chief of staff at Homeland Security. In April, Trump signed a memorandum targeting Miles Taylor, a former Homeland targeting. Do you see how they use a wording here? Homeland Security official and allegedly leaking classified intelligence. Allegedly leaking. I mean, it's almost like they're trying to paint Trump out to be this madman that's just gonna have revenge on everybody and go after everyone. No, he's draining the swamp.
Exactly. And you see what his quote is? I am part of the resistance inside the Trump administration. He
Wow.
said that in 2018.
Wow. Very well orchestrated, aren't they? They're very well organized, these people. Here's number two, Christopher Krebs, Trump's former election security director. During Trump's first term, Krebs was the head of the Homeland Security Department's Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. He fought back against unfounded allegations of border fraud and oversaw the coordination of efforts to win the 2020 presidential election. 2 weeks after that, Trump sacked him. So look how they're painting the picture here for Trump. It's unbelievable. And I'm putting this out there because people really need to know the angle, the desperate attempt that they have to use here. They're trying. They think, when they say come and get me, come and arrest me, AOC, all these people, they're trying to go down as martyrs. They're trying to make it sound like we're in the right, we're fighting against tyranny. I mean, it's unbelievable, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, we have to reveal and expose who they are so that the public can begin to understand how evil all of this is. I mean, how many people were concerned when she wanted to take over Mar-a-Lago for $18 million as part of a $350-some million immediate cash payment? Excuse me?
Right.
But he went in and paid the cash. I think he went in with $75 million. I mean, it's been absolutely crazy what they've done to him, but they always have been able to get away with it. That's the difference in this generation. Can you imagine? These generations go all the way back. None of this is starting in the last 5 presidents. This goes all the way back in our country. And they've been doing this generation after generation. No consequences. Why? They've been in charge.
And you're going to show us
We haven't
how
been
this,
able to tear this down.
and you're going to show us how this connects to Durham, correct?
Yep.
All right. So Letitia James, New York Attorney General, who successfully sued Trump for fraud. Now I'm going to go through all these names. You can add what you want here. I guess. Hold on. Wait a second.
Right underneath there, it said more.
Oh, there's two. Okay. So I was like, wait a minute here. Okay, 3 or 4, Aaron 𝗔𝗯cie, former prosecutor on Robert Mueller's team. So they're trying to play this like he's going at this retribution campaign like they're innocent. But they own the media, so they're going to really be able to capture the mind of the liberals with this, aren't they?
Right. But now look at the next paragraph. He's the guy that went after Papadopoulos. He's the guy that went after Roger Stone. He's the guy that, do you see how this goes?
Yes. Absolutely.
They keep going layers deeper, layers deeper. They went against everybody. Dan Scavino's even been open about this, how horrible his life has been, that they just don't leave him alone. And now that he's back in, now they want to come and be his friend again. It's like, what? He's been very clear. Scavino has been very clear about this.
Andrew Weissman, member of Mueller's team. Here's another one here, and another, obviously the big one. According to Juanito and a few other people, they say this will be the first big arrest right here. Hopefully we see this year, but all roads do lead to, I'm surprised in this list they left out Obama, by the way, which is very shocking to me. Bill and Hillary Clinton, former president and first lady, a congressional committee looking into the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, sent court summons to a number of prominent figures, including the Clintons. The subpoenas were sent to the Clintons and 8 other people by Republican James Comer, who is the head of the House of Oversight Committee, following the Trump administration's decision to withdraw more government files on the deceased financier. The committee is looking for evidence regarding Epstein's list or past.
Okay, look at the cover up. Let's go to the first line about the Clintons. Let's go back to the first line about the Clintons. You're gonna love this. This is how they do cover up. Do you see what they're calling them? Bill and Hillary Clinton, former president and first lady. When did she totally go against us? As a senator and then Secretary of State. Now, was it the same Hillary? There's lots of questions as to whether or not it's the same Hillary, but we know that the Hillary that was Secretary of State and the senator, that was another Rockefeller, and he's a Rockefeller. And so were they first cousins? I mean, it's all kind of fun because Chelsea wasn't their daughter anyway.
And even isn't Obama somehow related in this mix as well?
Yeah,
I've heard.
Well, because I don't think that the one that was his wife when he was president, she couldn't control him, remember?
Yeah.
She could not stop him from all of the activities he was involved in. And then in comes this senator and state secretary of state, stronger than strong. Do you know what I mean? Completely different structure. So what do? They say it's going to be a former president and first lady. And she went way beyond that.
No surprise here. Ghislaine Maxwell, convicted of sex trafficking in relation to the Epstein case. Maxwell was given 20-year prison term in 2022 for assisting Epstein in abusing young girls. So that's number 7 of 15. And here,
Well, and Maxwell was over Epstein. And who was Maxwell's father? Remember Robert Maxwell?
yes,
They said he fell over the side of his yacht and drowned. I don't think he's dead, but I don't think he was dead at that
interesting.
point. But they couldn't say who pushed him over if somebody pushed him over because of who he's involved with. And that whole family is involved in this. Her sister was here doing things in America against us, and nobody ever talks about it.
You know, the creepiest photo I've ever seen is her side profile in 𝗓𝗵𝗶𝗀𝗄 picture. Have you seen that?
Yep.
That's so suspect to me. I get the chills when I look at that. And then here we are, James Comey, former FBI director. The Secret Service is looking into Comey after he shred and then removed a social media message that Republicans claimed was an invasion to violence against President Trump. I mean, we got to get ready for this. I mean, the media is going to take their side all the way.
And then his family members, his daughter, isn't she in the Southern District of New York?
Right, she's the one that got Diddy off, right? Not off, but a slap on the wrist.
Well, that's what it's family connections, and that's what we don't begin to understand because then the daughter probably married somebody has a different last name. You see how this goes. In San Diego, when I got those judges in prison, do you know who the judges are now? The children of those judges. And they bring them in at midnight. Let's say judge number 11 on a list of 22 is resigning and he's not going to continue. So what they do instead of going out for a vote from the public for it, because they used to put their names and their backgrounds and everything on the ballots, now it's just, should this judge continue, yes or no? So at midnight, they'll put this other judge in, and it's a relative of one of the judges that was a judge before.
Wow.
I mean, Adams, who was on there when I got those judges, those 3 judges, his wife divorced him. We paid for a public defender. This is how crazy it gets. His wife is also a judge in the Superior Court in San Diego at the same time. So he gets to divorce her in the middle of the hearing. Can you and I get a divorce in the middle of a hearing to not have your assets be affected?
No.
So then they go to prison, and then the warden puts a letter together to get him out on a halfway house. And it wasn't even a drug related case. And so it's not even matching the charges. Okay. And where's the halfway house? At his ex-wife's house, who has a mansion in Hawaii between Sylvester Stallone and Bette Midler. Their mansion's in the middle.
Jeez.
I mean, this is what I've been living through. They're all related, guys. It's so pervasive.
Robert Mueller, number 9. Former FBI Director and Special Counsel Mueller made a public declaration in 2021 that he would not be testifying further after being subpoenaed to appear for a deposition and a defamation action by those connected to the Russia probe. This was in addition to his May 2019 public remarks and the Mueller report. I mean, I would imagine, Sheila, like this stuff has to move fast. I mean, this stuff, I mean...
Don't move off of Mueller. I got something for you on Mueller.
Go ahead.
Well, you know when the Mueller report came out? I was at a live interview at the Georgia Guidestones. That report came out on March 322 of 2019, the 39th anniversary of the Georgia Guidestones. And I'm out there for a live interview. We're starting to break down the cameras and everything and load everything back up. And the host turns his radio on in his vehicle for us to listen to, and they're announcing the Mueller report is getting released.
Wow.
They operate on their calendar.
And then when were the Georgia Guidestones blown up? What date was that?
7622.
Wow.
On the 76th anniversary. 76 on the 76th anniversary of George W. Bush.
Wow. Number 10, Loretta Lynch, former Attorney General in December 2018. Former Attorney General Loretta Lynch was mandated to appear for closed-door testimony. Republicans looked into the Justice Department and FBI's 2016 and 2017 decision-making claiming that senior officials' pervasive anti-Trump bias caused the agency to focus on the investigation of Trump's campaign ties with Russia and minimize its investigation of Hillary Clinton's private email server.
Okay, you want to hear some wonderful stuff about Loretta Lynch. And I don't know if this happened starting on the tarmac, but Loretta Lynch was signing contracts. Did you know about any of this?
I've heard.
She was signing contracts for Eric's son. You know how many times the president said, anyone I'm hearing from Eric's apostrophe S son? There's 2 S's in the word Ericsson, and they're out of Sweden. And Loretta Lynch signed an 8-year contract to continue on from after Obama through the potential of 2 terms of Trump, right?
Right.
So Loretta Lynch, what is she doing signing a contract, giving them all the rights to all of our communication, all of our text messages, all of our emails, all of our phone communications, automated messages, voicemails, everything about us. Now, how does this tie in with Julian Assange? Ericsson, the company, and their technology have been using the technology, and that's how some of our soldiers are being killed on the field in battle.
Wow.
Is because of that technology. Now, how do we know this? Because of Seth Rich giving the information to Julian Assange. And if you go back to the very first day we ever heard about Julian Assange and WikiLeaks, the video was an Ericsson's video of them doing the kill shots. But once they were done with it, they didn't want to leave any witnesses. And you heard the guys laughing. No, there's 2 more civilians over to your left. You got to kill them. It was the most horrific video to watch.
Wow.
You can't get rid of it out of your mind once you see it. And that's how Ericsson operates. Now, remember how we've said how President Trump and Aldous Huxley and C.S. Lewis were all killed on the same day?
Yes.
Did you know that on the day when, and remember, and isolated from everybody.
Right.
So you had to lock in or whatever they called it.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they went to Buckingham Palace, they took the Queen and Prince Philip out, boarded up the windows and painted some. On the same day, they took for somewhere, I don't know where they took him to, I'm not on the team, but they took the Harvard president and his wife. Isn't it funny that all of these people that I'm going to name to you right now, all 6, 3 couples, so there's your trifecta on our side, the president and wife of Harvard and the husband and wife, king and queen of Sweden. What is Sweden connection? Ericsson is a corporation in Sweden. The symbol of Ericsson is the same as the monster drink, 666.
Really?
The same one for Volvo is sideways, 666.
It's all demonic, Luciferian.
All 3 of those couples, the same day, all found out they all same day. So, and all of it relates back to the communication of Loretta Lynch, Julian Assange. You see how, but these layers, and that's why I'm kind of pointing out some of these things. Loretta Lynch shouldn't have had any authority to be signing contracts on behalf of America. How does that happen with an attorney general?
That's interesting. Shouldn't. Wow.
So these are things.
So this is a big
Michael,
one right here. This is wow.
There's a Michael Ray, R-A-E, Khoury, Khoury, and he was doing some Twitter spaces with Laura Logan. I'll try and find these for you and get them so you can share the links with people, because Laura Logan did a questioning of him because he has studied Ericsson's company and everything they're doing, because it hit him when he was describing that first video, and now you only see it on the anniversary of WikiLeaks.
Wow.
Because that was the very first thing on the very first day, and that's what put Julian Assange in jeopardy.
Here's this Eric Holder right here, obviously former Attorney General, Obama administration, in June 2012. House Republicans found Holder, a Democrat who had worked under previous President Barack Obama, in contempt for failing to disclose internal Justice Department documents in response to a subpoena. Holder, I mean, this is the who's who, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sheila?
Mm-hmm.
And what just
you have to be in that who's who group to be in these positions.
Right.
That's 100%. How they
100%.
Controlled absolutely everything. And if you weren't going to continue to control it, you were replaced.
Their minds must be blown right now on how Trump is back in office and how this is happening to them, right?
Well, they thought they got away with it, so they thought that they could go on with their lives and nothing would happen to them. That's what's so funny.
Barr was called as the first witness in the bipartisan House Oversight Committee probe into convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein on Monday. The deposition took place behind closed doors. Barr was the Attorney General twice, was during the first term of Donald Trump, and once during George H.W. Bush. Man.
It's hard to say which side of the fence he's on, because you can't ride the fence.
I've heard that. Yeah. You think Barr could be a white hat?
He could be. It's tough for me because our Graham family started businesses all over when they migrated. So they came into Canada to Graham businesses and then into the U.S. and the Barr family kept following us. We're connected to the Barr family all the way back to Kilmarnock, Scotland.
Oh, wow. Jeff Sessions,
So I
number
don't want to think he's
13.
bad. Anyway, I don't
Number
want to think
13,
he's bad.
Jeff Sessions, former Attorney General, Trump first term, as part of its probe into the Epstein case, a congressional committee on Tuesday subpoenaed the former Attorney General to testify later this month. I mean, they're all getting subpoenaed, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So what happens if they don't show up to the subpoena? They go to jail? How does this work?
Bench warrant.
Bench warrant?
You have to show up. You,
But they
you can't
but then
ignore court.
that's when they're really under the gun, though, right then and there. I mean,
But there's good news about Jeff Sessions. When Trump was coming in, they did a complete review of absolutely everybody in Congress. So everybody in the House, everybody in the Senate, everybody was reviewed, vetted, all their background, everything. The only clean guy where they couldn't find anything was Jeff Sessions.
wow.
Now
Okay,
there's a
so that's-
rumor, and I think he's a judge that can be a judge in a military tribunal, right?
Let's not talk about that on YouTube, but okay. It could
Well,
Jeff
anyway,
Sessions could? Is that what you said? You said Jeff
I think he's got that background because
Wow.
he's been returning once in a while with a suntan. I'm just saying something.
All right.
But I'm not saying anything's happening down there other than pedophile.
All right. And Alberto Gonzalez, former Attorney General, Bush administration. I don't know much about this guy. Do you? Interesting. Yeah, I don't. It says a motion to authorize and issue a subpoena compelling the former Bush administration official to give a deposition was unanimously granted by Subcommittee on Federal Law Enforcement, which is part of the Committee on Oversight and Government Reform in 2023, July 2023.
Oh, there you go. That's why he was in there. You see the time frame on Epstein?
Yeah, yep.
He was specifically positioned to protect the Epstein files.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Merrick Garland, no surprise there. Former Attorney General, Biden administration, 2024 days after House Republicans voted to hold Garland in contempt for refusing to comply with a legislative subpoena for then President Biden's audio tapes, the Justice Department decided not to press charges against him because Biden claimed executive privilege over the tapes the previous month. Prosecutors said Garland is protected from prosecution. The matter is now closed as a result of the ruling.
Now you see him being the Attorney General, and you see how cute they say the Justice Department decided not to. Who's
Right.
over the Justice Department?
Yeah, you're right.
The Attorney General. Do you
Right.
see how, so the wording, unless you really know how this whole thing is structured, you don't realize that the Justice Department decided not to press any charges.
And that's another
He's the one
reason.
that's over the Justice Department.
That's another
so you
reason
think the employees-
I pull up these articles like this with Gabbard's Revenge Purge. Because look
Yeah.
how we're wording this stuff.
Yep.
This is what we're really up against is the mainstream media. Gabbard's Revenge Purge immediately runs into a major problem. Tulsi Gabbard has broken the law by publicly identifying dozens of current and former officials while revoking their security clearances, according to a national security lawyer. She's what? Yeah, 37 people. Gabbard revealed that 37 people have been targeted in the declarance purge ordered by President Trump, accusing them without evidence of politicizing and manipulating intelligence, leaking classified intelligence without authorization, and or committing intentional egregious violations of trade craft standards.
Now,
Gabbard,
I'm gonna add something in here. Do you know President Kennedy knew they were already doing this? He said our problem is not espionage from spies coming into our country. There are specific things that are being issued in our newspapers and over the radio, and he said you're revealing things that you shouldn't be revealing because you're putting the country in jeopardy. He said that in that April 1961 speech.
wow.
I can send you the whole speech. That's what I used on platform at Reawaken. And when Matt Struck just did that little intro video for me, he didn't know. He said, what video did you love that I did with Trump? And I said, well, when the black cars came out and they came out of the archway at Mar-a-Lago, and as they're going around to go to the jetport airport, you ended up doing a President Reagan speech. And so you know what he did? And we never talked about it. He is so profound. And so he put on the April 21, 1961 speech of Kennedy, paragraphs 20, 21, 22, and then by the time we finished it and put the pictures of the books in, he had paragraph 23 and had no idea that paragraph 23 is what I used on all my Reawaken intros.
Oh, wow. So
unbelievable. But
So
it's
Sheila,
in there.
what do you
President
think?
Kennedy said it.
So where do you think this all goes from here? I mean, obviously she's doing a purge within the three-letter agencies. There's a lot of taking away security clearances. Obviously now people have been subpoenaed. John Bolton's house raided. We're going to see a lot more of that. I believe a self-deleting week or month is going to come. I think there's going to be a lot of homicides and self-deleting happening as this gets more and more real for them. But one thing that we should bring up right now is John Durham, right?
Absolutely. We didn't really talk much about Bolton. Did you want to talk to him first before we talk about?
Let's whatever you want to touch on first. What do you think?
Well, Bolton was so bold, and I don't know how President put up with it. I really don't know, because he was operating against the president right at the table in negotiations.
But don't you think that's
And
why that was Trump's first presidency was to kind of smoke out the rats?
well, and look what he's doing now. He's cleaning up DC. So what does the DC mayor say? Well, our crime is down 26%. And then out of the blue, it's like whack-a-mole all around the country. The Baltimore mayor is saying his is down and his city's clean. It's one of the filthiest cities in America. And all these mayors, they're getting revealed.
But hold on. Has Trump sent the National Guard into Baltimore and all them? That's news to me.
No,
only DC.
Baltimore said he can't. He can't. Don't come into my city. My city's
Right.
already clean, and
Right.
our crime is down, and you're a liar,
Wow.
and these mayors are revealing who they are.
Correct, but don't you feel I see strategy here. I see Trump putting the chess pieces into position for this when he starts to go after these people. So there's no flight risks. They quell or neutralize civil unrest. There's checkpoints up in DC. I'm just saying, folks, I'm reading the writing on the wall. You think I'm right in saying that, Sheila?
You're absolutely right in saying that. And I don't know if we can bring up or just tell people, I just retweeted EKO, and EKO gave this whole summary. This is what the president is saying, but this is what it really means. This is what he said, and this is what it really means. And this is what he's bringing forward, and this is why they're reacting, because they're doing it to get him to react. So to me, I've been saying this for years. We're watching a whack-a-mole game. We say something, and then they go, and they come up because they feel they're righteous and right. They're not just right. They are righteously right. And so they're so far ahead of us and above us and more important than us that they just come out and say what they're going to say. And that's how they're going to get, they're confirming it. But the beauty of this is, look at what our president has been through in order to wait long enough to let him recommit the crimes, because they weren't informed before, but they were informed before the 22 election, and they did it again. And they got away with it, and so they thought, well, we can do it in the 24, but by the 24, because they keep doing the same things, the same way, with the same people, and the same white box cars, we're going to the same locations, and our National Guard met them at the door and arrested them. Nobody hears about any of this great stuff that's happening behind the scenes, because mainstream media is not going to let you know that any of that's happening.
Let's go back to the back channel, ninoscorner.tv, and finish it up there. I want to talk about Durham, the whole thing. Let's reveal what you wanted to reveal on there. Are you good with that, Sheila?
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, folks. And where do people find you?
Hisbest.org.
Hisbest.org. I'll put a link down there below, folks. Meet us at ninoscorner.tv right now, folks. It's going to be fire later.